Hey, okay, hey. So, we're back, and, I learned some things. I learned some things about this game. This wonderful, beautiful game with beautiful art and maybe a beautiful story. I was looking on the website, and I guess the guy that makes the game, Zetspo, I'm gonna call him Zetspo because I think he's like a one-man studio who just outsources art sometimes, like with this game. He said in regards to streaming, he only wants people who do stream to do like one playthrough without reloading saves or looking at a walkthrough. I don't know if that counts as for Let's Plays, but I mean, I guess I'm only doing one playthrough. Second, I found this. Oh, it's a trailer. It's not an intro. Well, I'll play the trailer anyways. Well, no. I thought it was like the intro, but no, it's just a trailer. Okay, never mind. Load. It's my newest save. This one? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start. Oh yeah, and this game is like way more risque than I thought. I thought we just have like the one or two nude scenes, but nah man, there's like NTR. But I might not get to the NTR depending on, well, I won't get to it on camera. I'm gonna go back and play the fuck out of this and get all the scenes and then like do what you would do with a R18 visual novel with fucking amazing art. Ah man, okay. After a restless night filled predominantly with nightmares about what happened to Sophie, I awoke to find a particular sight awaiting me. Oops. Staring back at me were two wide, curious eyes fixated on my body. Without even thinking, I immediately knew that the person staring at me was Chris. Despite my plea yesterday about not entering my room while I was asleep, Chris had once again decided to pay me a visit. And this time around, she managed to enter my room before I woke up. Hee hee. 2 days in a row. You must really be pent up. Is it because you're too embarrassed to do that while I'm still here? Chris smirked as she continued to stare at my body. Embarrassingly, what Chris had been staring at with great intensity and curiosity from before I woke up was not my stupid face, nor was it my chest, as it continues to rise and fall. It was my crotch. Just like yesterday, I was on the receiving end of sexual harassment, feeling thoroughly violated as my best friend eyed me like a piece of meat. Yeah, how does it feel, males and your male fantasies and SJWs and I don't know, man. We got some role reversal here, though. Squirming around under her intense gaze, I barely mustered a reply. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work what way? You know, being pent up. Even if you aren't, it still happens. What? Really? I see. Would seem that my knowledge about male anatomy is still lacking. Perhaps I need a test subject to help me study. I reflectively covered my crotch with my hands. Haha, I'm just kidding, Kai. There's no need to cover up. Besides, it's not like you have anything I didn't see when we were kids. What kind of ridiculous reasoning is that? As Chris implied, it wasn't strange for the two of us to see one another naked when we were children. If we were using something that might stain our clothes, we'd play naked. If we were dirty, we stripped down and washed ourselves under the hose. There were no sex element, we weren't even aware of the differences in the sexes, and of course, these many years later, I was sure that even Chris didn't remember what she saw. Call it ridiculous if you want, but it's true, isn't it? I guess so, but even so, that's pretty awkward. That's a pretty weak argument. How so? Well, you know, just because you've been seen once before, that doesn't mean it isn't embarrassing. You wouldn't want me to see you naked again, would you? That's... Christopher, her gaze as the target of our conversation suddenly changed. That's different. It's different for girls. My body isn't the same as it was when we were kids. Well, if I'm only gonna do one playthrough on camera, then it doesn't really matter. So, I'm not gonna bother saving. That isn't a very persuasive argument, given that you're talking about your own body. Maybe I should take a look and see for myself. I thrust my hands out with my palm facing forward as if I was about to grab Chris's chest. You want to see? Well, I can't trust your testimony, can I? How will I know if your body is any more dull if I don't check for myself? I wiggle my fingers around and smirk perversely as I move closer to Chris. It's like that fucking Konosuba anime where the guy like creeps out those girls by like just moving his hands. It's weird, and then he almost gets arrested for it, for like moving his hands like a creep. So fucking weird. That was an actual argument, and it was fucking just in the court of Fantasyland. Konosuba was weird. Oh, okay. Don't worry, I'll be... Oh. Hold on. Oh, that's what it looks like in the pictures, but... I guess every opportunity, eh? How about that? Before I could lower my hands and brush off my actions as a joke, Chris took things to the next level. She began to unbutton her shirt while averting her gaze, slowly removing the buttons one at a time as her face became a deeper shade of red. I stare at Chris in disbelief, watching breathlessly as the last of her buttons came undone. The two sides of her shirt drifted apart, offering me a glimpse of something I had dearly hoped to see once again. So, what are you, you know... Confused by her own actions, Chris tries to hide her chest, only to then part the two sides of her shirt once more. Chris consciously pulls the fabric away from her chest, exposing both her breasts and facing directly towards me. She wanted to be seen. Embarrassed to death, exposed in front of a member of the opposite sex, some part of Chris wanted me to look at her with the eyes of a man looking at a woman. I know that I don't have the sex appeal of other girls my age, but even my body has its good points, right? Yeah, man, look at them abs. Look at them abs. I mean, the shadows of abs, but I mean abs nonetheless. While tightly gripping the bottom of each half of her shirt with either hand, Chris pushes her elbows closer together, pushing her breasts together and make them look bigger. Chris looks down at the small valley she created, then glances towards me with upturned eyes, as if hoping for a favorable reaction. Kai? I unconsciously gulped. Peeping on my best friend was one thing, but for her to willingly show me her body, to me, was absolutely unthinkable. Was Chris aroused? Was she staring at my crotch earlier with that kind of intent? Or was she simply being swept away by the flow? Man, you guys are gonna have to start getting up earlier if you wanna, like, get rid of this tension in the morning, because you're gonna be late to school. If you guys started fucking right now, you're gonna be, like, late for school. Alright? And we can't have that. We can't have truancy. We can't have truants. Or maybe we can. I don't know, man. And without knowing the truth behind her actions, all I could do was stare at Chris with my eyes wide open, unable to refute her claim in the slightest. Come on, Kyle, say something. It's more embarrassing if you say something like that. Innocent blush masked Chris' face as she turned away while occasionally peeking at me, waiting for some kind of reaction. But the more she fidgeted around, the harder it became for me to comment. Chris's breath, yeah. I was gonna say breast, but then I thought it said breath, so I tried to correct myself, realizing I was right the first time. Chris's breasts pressed together to appear larger than usual, jiggled minutely as she turned her body. The unbuttoned half of her shirt fluttered about, giving me an occasional glimpse of the small pink nipples hiding underneath. I mean, not a glimpse, we'd see like 90% of both, so... Oh man, look at the shadow. There's double shadow. Like, I noticed that on the top, using this exact picture, well, a censored version as a reference, I saw like there's like hard shadows and then there's like light shadows, but the hard shadows are soft edged. But then there's like, I guess those hard shadows under the breast might be soft as well. I don't know. Shadows are hard for me. I'm not good with shadows. Even Chris's tempting lips, which she pressed together as she stared at mine, betrayed her embarrassment and excitement in full. Chris, Why are you doing this? Finally, those few words escaped from my lips. I forcefully shifted my gaze from Chris's slender body to her face and made eye contact. The moment I did, Chris quickly moved away. I don't know what's gotten into you this morning, but you shouldn't do things like this. Your body is a sacred temple. It deserves to be treated white, and only the freshest kale can purify it. And soy milk. Kale and soy milk. It's not something you show off to other people on a whim. You need to treasure yourself more, Christine. Again with the Christine. Fuck, that makes my heart flutter. Chris's shudders jolted as I called her name. Her embarrassment slowly began to fade as her expression dropped, gradually morphing into one of both shame and joy. His excitement was fading, the impulse spurring her had been quelled, and my words continued to reverberate inside her head. Now's the one saying strange things. Since when do you care about what I do with my body? I don't know. It's not the kind of thing I usually think about. But that doesn't mean it isn't true. You may be able to trust me, but if you were to act like this in front of another guy, then... A slight tinge of anger appeared on Chris's face. She wouldn't do this with another guy, you dumb idiot. You think I'd do something like this in front of other people? Stupid Kai. Rather than growing more upset, Chris began to pout. And why do you only call me Christine when it suits you? Honestly, the lack of consideration is why you can't get a girlfriend. I scratched my head nervously as Chris touched upon a subject I didn't want to discuss. That may be so, but I still think you're the one who needs to explain herself. Don't you think you're going a bit far? What would you show me your yabos? I unconsciously glanced at Chris's chest as he spoke, realizing that I hurriedly faced the other direction, despite desperate to remove the wonderful sight from my field of vision. At least I'd be tempted once more to attack her. Idiot. Baka. I don't understand anything. You don't understand anything, do you, Chris? The moment that Chris finished talking, I felt a familiar warmth spreading across my back. I tried to turn back around, only to find slender yet toned arms wrapped around my waist, locking my body to Chris's firmly. It was at that moment that I became conscious of the soft mouths pressed against my back. Chris, what are you? You're a baka, Kai. You don't understand the subtleties of women at all. That's why. Chris's hot breath tingled the hairs on the back of my neck. Her face drew closer, peeking over my shoulder and inching closer to my lips. You need someone who's willing to go on the offense. Fucking finally! Fucking offensive girls are the greatest. It's about time you took the initiative. Kai's not gonna fucking do it. I turned my face towards Chris's. With trembling lips and red cheeks, Chris still did not stop. She continued to move her face closer to mine until our breaths overlapped. It's embarrassing, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but if this is the only way to move forward, then... God. This is the same problem I have with, like, rom-coms. Not even real rom-coms, like action anime that has romance comedy in it. It's like, I just want you characters to fucking get it over with. Like, just start dating already. I don't want to have to, like, wait to the end of the series for you to, like, finally say you love each other. Like, I'd probably love Boku no Hero way more if, like, Deku and, Gravity, I can never remember her name, if they had just, like, said they love each other by now and started dating. Like, it's fine if they don't want to be super serious because they want to focus on their hero studies, but fucking just come out with it already, goddamn. And it's usually the situations where, like, everyone can see it except those two because they're so fucking dense. But in rom-coms, I don't know if it's better or worse because it's usually just the protagonist that's fucking dense. Everyone else... Goddamn. Chris froze mid-sentence as an unexpected and unwelcome sound disturbed us. Kai, are you up yet? Oh, I saw someone on the Steam comments saying how they hoped there was a route with Mom. And, like, I feel you, but, like, I could tell from day one that was never gonna happen. But I fucking get him. It's a school day, so stop slacking off and get ready. Yabbles. What, boy? Damn it, boy, get dressed. Chris quickly let go, began to button her shirt back up. The red face, she fixed her clothes in the blink of an eye, driven by the embarrassment and desperation. Yet when we're having a date, they fucking take forever, cause, you know, they need their, like, lipstick on just right. Fucking threaten to post their nudes, that'll speed them. I don't know, I've never been on a date, so I'm talking out from shows on TV. Last chance, Kai. If you aren't up until seconds, I'll suck your dick. The doorknob slowly turns. My mother spoke. Wait a second, I'm getting dressed. My penis is out. Don't come in yet. Hold on. Whether my mom believed me or instead simply noticed the desperation in my voice, she let go of the doorknob. Alright then. Hurry up, Willie. Your breakfast is almost ready. In our conversation there, the sound of my mother's voice was soon replaced by the echoing of her footsteps. I listened intently as my mom walked down the hallway, and when she descended the stairs, I breathed a sigh of relief. Man, that was close. I need to get a lock on my door or something. I turned around at Chris. Although she was fully dressed, Chris' face was still bright red, and she was fidgeting around relentlessly. Christine? Chris's shoulders jolted once again. It seemed like every time I called Chris by her full name, she reacted strangely, though in this case, the situation itself was more like a blame. I'm gonna go for a shower and head downstairs. A cold shower. Real cold shower. Ice cold. Sub-zero cold. I'm gonna get frostbite with all this cold water. You should head down while I'm bathing so your mother doesn't get suspicious. Yeah. Chris left my room in a hurry with her face bright red. She closed the door behind her, then quickly ran to the guest room in which she had been sleeping. Meanwhile, I simply stood at the door, unmoving. Even with Chris gone from my sight, her visions remained buried in my mind. Yet again, Chris's presence in this house had left me with a confusing yet vivid memory, and instilled in me the undeniable reality that she really was a beautiful girl. She really is a Bishoujo. 'Cause that's what Bishoujo means. It literally means beautiful girl. Bishoujo. Does that mean B means beautiful? So if I go like Inu, is that beautiful dog? Is that how that works? I don't know Japanese yet. I might never will. I'm not good at keeping up with my lessons. Yawn. Man, I'm really not up for this today. Are you okay, Kai? You look even more lethargic than usual. I'll be alright. I just need to sleep to class or two to be back on normal. Man, fuck. That's me in fucking college. It's like, man, I didn't get enough sleep. Good thing my first two classes are classes I'm already failing, so I'll just nap through them and then I'll be ready to, like, record more Let's Plays, because that's really all I did in college. Man. All through breakfast, my morning shower, and even now during our walk to school, I couldn't stop yawning. While the visit that Chris paid me earlier this morning did get my blood pumping, it wasn't enough to erase the fatigue of a bad night's sleep. Lack of sleep, huh? Could it be that you were kept up by thoughts of the cute girl in the next room? I mean, that's part of it. Don't flatter yourself. The only time you keep me awake at night is when you stay up late playing video games. Goddamn. Party pooper. Couldn't you just humor me? Lie to you? My dear friend, you know I could never do that. Yeah, right. Well, no matter what you say, I know that I get a rise out of you. Quite literally, in fact. I've effectively covered my crotch with my hands. Exactly right, Kai. But keep bidding your pants, okay? No matter how attracted you are towards me, you have to show a little bit of discretion. Don't get cocky, it was just a coincidence, alright? Not that I can say the same for you, out of the stunt you pulled this morning. What are you talking about? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Staring at my crotch while I was sleeping, taking off your shirt, pressing your breast against me. If my mother hadn't shown up when she did, I would've... You would've what, Kai? Oh, damn, the music stopped. I mean, well, you know, you're a girl, and I'm a boy. We're both naked, and immediately drained of the fluster adorning my face a moment ago, Chris suddenly questioned me with a serious look on her face. If your mother hadn't shown up when she did, what would you have done, Kai? No, I mean, when she didn't show up, you would have stopped by yourself, and what if I didn't? Chris stopped walking. So did I. Chris, if I did that again while your mother wasn't home and I didn't stop by myself, what would you do? Would you overpower me and force me to stop? Would you stand there and not resist and let me do whatever I wanted? Or would you actually return my embrace? Despite the embarrassing nature of the topic at hand, Chris did not seem flustered, nor did she avert her gaze. She questioned me with complete seriousness, as though she might actually plan on repeating the scenario from this morning after receiving my blessing. I mean, she probably will. Chris, don't tell me that you didn't know, or that you haven't thought about it. My Elgato just flashed. I don't know, is that thing gonna pop up telling me I need an update? Oh, whatever, that's not important right now. I want an honest answer, Kai. Yes! Yes, I was hoping I get to choose. Okay, what do we got? Let Chris have her way. Stop Chris. Go on the offensive. Ooh, I don't know. Stop Chris isn't like... Oh, wait. Okay, so I did look up a walkthrough, but, like, I didn't pay much attention to it. Because I didn't want to, like, use the walkthrough for my first playthrough. But I remember let Chris have her way. For some reason, that stood out for me the most. And that is influencing me a little. Go on the offensive. Like, both, obviously not stop Chris, but let Chris have her way and go on the offensive seemed like the obvious choice. But, like, which one's the one that I want? Like, I'm most likely gonna choose let Chris have her way, but I'm trying to think, what would the difference be? I mean, yeah, okay. I guess I don't really have to think that hard about it. Because, like, even without the walkthrough, if it was me personally, I just let Chris have her way. As I said before, offensive girls are, like, fucking great. Wait, what? Low balance. Oh god, what happened? Oh. While there probably existed some unspoken rule about the male taking charge in the situation, I wasn't about to deceive myself. Chris, who had already proven herself to be more assertive and dominant than me, remained firmly in control, and I wouldn't resist in the slightest. In fact, as someone who had recently begun to question his own feelings towards his best friend, but feared rejection, having Chris take control would be a dream come true. Right? Right? Because, like, if you take control and it's like she doesn't like it, now you're a rapist. But, like, if you just sit and let it happen, then it's like, oh, okay, we're mutual. Cool. Let's watch a movie. I think that your second guess was right. Even if this morning were to be repeated, I'd probably just stand there completely useless and unable to willing to do a thing. See, when you say it like that, it makes it sound like a fucking coward. Heh, I see. Hearing my answer, Chris began to smile. Sorry. Don't apologize. I expected as much myself. Though, to be honest, I'm surprised to hear you admit it. It's not something I'm proud of, but you did ask me seriously for an answer. I figured I'd owe you that much. I'm glad you feel that way, Kai. It may not be cool to be submissive, but as I'm sure you know by now, you don't need to put on airs around me. I already know your character through and through. So just tell me the truth, and I'll beat it out of you. Chris raises her fist with a smile to her face. Haha, I don't doubt it. But I'm not a fighter, so I guess I'll settle with telling the truth. Wuss, 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 wuss. You know, like in that 70s show, that one episode. God damn it. I'm starting to, like, throw in references no one cares about. That's the correct decision, though. Embrace your true nature and submit to me. Queen Christine. Oh man, that's not good. As you command, O benevolent one. I bow my head lightly, following Chris's lead. Very good. We will make a fine subject yet. Now then, while we're being honest, tell me, how often do you masturbate? Oh my god! With the fucking bloody nose. Oh, I've also seen this. Like, the bloody nose is one thing, but her eyes are also going, like, fucking dim, and that's scaring me because I've seen that in like more than one shot. So Chris might actually be crazy. Like, I'm honestly a bit scared. Come again? You heard me. Answer the question, Kai. No, don't you think that's a bit? Answer! Chris shouted louder, drawing the attention of students on the other side of the road. I looked around nervously, praying that no one heard what she were discussing. Chris, keep your voice down. I will lower my voice once you answer my question. The red face and perverse expression Chris gave off a vibe similar to when she approached him in the room earlier. This time, however, Chris was being a more forceful and intended to use the pretense of our playful scenario as her way. I said it, liberated from her usual character, just a little bit aroused. Chris wasn't about to give out without a fight. Days. Huh? What's that? Speak up, Ka. 3 days. On average, once every 3 days. Once every 3 days? I see. Once every 3 days? Initially pleased to hear her response, it didn't take long for Chris's eyes to push up. Every 3 days? No, that can't be. It's definitely more than that, right? Chris, it has to be a lie. The number can't possibly be that low. If that were true, then for me to do it more than 3 times that... Wait, if that were true, then for me to do it more than 3 times that much... Hello, or to Chris. Huh? Chris. Kai, you scared me. I did? Yeah, every 3 days, huh? Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? Can you do it more? Wait. Once every 3 days, so 3 times that would be once every... No. Hold on. Once every 3 days times 3 is either 3 times a day every 3 days, which is less likely than once every 9 days, which is 1.5 times a week? That's still not... Wait, no. No, that's not right either. Because that's less than once every 3 days. Hold on. Once every 3 days. No, you have to take out 3. So it wouldn't be... So once every 3 days times 3. Once every 3 days times 2 is once every day and a half. So like every other day you do it twice. But then times 3 would be... Wouldn't that be... Would that be like 2 times a day? Or would that be... I tried to do masturbation math. Let's just say she does it every day. Which is fine and kinda hot, but... Man... Do all boys do it that often? Or are you just especially devious? How should I know? Please, can we just drop it? I answered your question already. Yeah, I suppose you did. Alright, enough dilly-dallying. Let's keep going. Oh, but no holding hands, alright? I know where your hand is being. Like we'd ever do that. Right in the face, Chris smirked playfully as the two of us continued walking to school. I followed close behind, mentally exhausted by a far-fetched conversation. Man, fucking Chris is going crazy. And like, I dig that. But like, I am worried. I guess we wouldn't have much of a plot if, like, Chris was as pure and innocent as we hoped, and wasn't, like, a little bit crazy. Honestly, who asks these kind of questions? I always kind of thought that Chris wasn't interested in that stuff since she'd never dated anyone before or even talked about liking someone, but I guess I was wrong. Rather, going by the last few days, Chris might actually be a closet pervert. Hey...